it's Jeff, Steve Veronica, and Steve Bradley, and our producer,
Joe Brott.
Big Joe Brott, here on Rock Sports Now live in front of your naked, steaming eyes. Actually, my eyes aren't naked.
You're covered.
David Lee Roth used to say that. Sorry, naked, steaming eyes. I don't know why. Probably just David Lee Roth wanted to say that word. But anyway, enough of the Van Halen talk. Steve Bradley, let's talk some. Let's tell the folks what's on today's program, and then we're going to recap some of last night's great football action. We went 2-1 against Section 6, pretty good for Section 5.
Especially with the Class D level. I think it's the first time Section 5 has won that game since 2015, and Red Jacket wrapped up its 8-man season with a perfect 10-0 record. Class D, Oakfield, Alabama, Elba advances to the state semifinals with a 28-23 win over Randolph.
Comeback. They were down at halftime, yeah.
And then, our first guest, too, Jeff Welch from Canandaigua. Tough loss to Jamestown. The number 2 team in the state beats the number 3 team in the state. Coach Welch, gracious enough to join us this morning, and what a run they've had, Jeff. Like 28 straight wins over Section 5 opponents. He's got a really good thing going down there. 3
straight Section 5 titles for the Braves, and they have a chance to make history next year. The Canandaigua program has never won 4 consecutive Section 5 titles. 3 in a row matched the Mike Foster era, which was a while ago.
83, when we were in high school.
Yeah.
At least I was in high school.
And they have a chance to do that. So we'll talk about last night's ball game. They were tied 14-14 at half, encountered a really big running back there. I mean, big in many ways. Jalen Butera from Jamestown, playing at Jamestown's stadium, which is another little twist to this story. So we'll talk about that with Jeff Welch. Again, he got back really late last night, so we really appreciate him coming on the program this morning. And then later on, we have, I think they're 2 great interviews, 2 girls teams and coaches that we're going to have on the program. We're going to start with Honey Falls Lima cross country, first-year coach Nolan Hoh, and for the first time in 6 years, HFL went to the state championships, which surprised us, and they finished second in the state, which is the best finish among any Section 5 teams. So we'll talk with Coach Hoh and Ann Brennan.
Top runner Ann Brennan, yeah. Great interview, great insight. Coach Hoh, of course, replaced Bernie Gardner, who had been there for, I believe, 39 years, 112 seasons, something like that. And a former runner for Bernie. But
108 Section 5 titles for Bernie.
So, Coach Hoh had 107 one down, 107 to go. No pressure. And just a fun, kind of cerebral, new wave coach that connected with his team right out of the chute. Kind of fun, to see some of the new blood and the things that they can do and the success that they're having.
And then we'll finish off by shipping out to Steve Bradley's alma mater. Second year out, we're going to have someone from Pavilion on the program. And what a great program this has turned into under a veteran coach who has an interesting profile as a coach and as a member of the Pavilion community, right, Steve?
Yep, the Pavilion girls volleyball team is coached by Rex Eimey, a Pavilion graduate. He's worked at the school actually since he was a junior in high school. He's been the director of buildings and ground facilities since 1987.
Before you and I were in high school.
Yeah, no, I remember him growing up. Actually, his family rode my bus, and they're 25-0, 75-0 in sets, and they're in the state semifinals. Trying to win the first state title in school history up in Glens Falls.
And, with apologies to the big schools in Section 5, when this stuff happens at the small schools, they really, really get into it. And so I'm rooting for everybody really hard. This is a point now of the season where you can just start rooting for our teams. You don't have to worry about, offending another local team that you're pulling for this team. Well, now it's us against the world, right? Section 5 against the world. Yeah. So they're in Glens Falls playing today, and if they were to win and go through in pool play, they would play for the state championship on Sunday. So we have our fingers crossed. We're up in the air about whether it be a Thanksgiving show, but I think we'll have something next weekend for you. We'll see how things go for our teams this weekend. We both have families, and we may take the week off. We'll leave you in suspense. But
and speaking of Thanksgiving, too, great time last night doing some shopping with you.
Yeah, we'll share that video out this week. The Adopt a Family program started by Primetime Ballers 585. We did our shopping last night and our delivery last night, and Steve Bradley and I have never shopped together before in 30 years of friendship or something like that. So
and, we knew our way around the grocery store. And
you did.
Yeah,
you're a good shopper.
Not bad.
All All right, so let's give a little quick snapshot of what happened last night, and we can tell folks what's going on today. Like we said, volleyball over in Glens Falls, and the boys are in
Albany.
So it's Penfield and Spencerport.
Penfield and Spencerport.
These are 4 teams that are going after it. Who are the 4, Steve?
Penfield and Spencerport on the boys' side. Penfield, the boys only has A and B, so we're there. And then
Division 1, Division 2, which I don't know why they do that, but
you gotta do it. You gotta mix it up.
No, but why don't you just call it A and B?
I don't know. The same thing happens in hockey. And then up in Glens Falls, as you mentioned, our guest from last week, Class AA Victor, Coach Matt Glover's squad looking to win. They're playing this morning, and then the aforementioned Pavilion Golden Gophers in the Class D flight this afternoon.
And these are all repeat champions from a year ago, but again, a year ago there was no state championship to go after. So it's a real special time for all of them. That I give them a lot of credit. There's kids that were denied that opportunity last year after winning sectionals, and now they have a chance to go forward and try to win a state title. So good luck to them all today. And then also we have the Federation Cross Country Championships and going over on in Wappingers Falls, just north of New York City.
Dutchess County, I believe.
You're right. And only 2 girls teams are competing, 2 girls teams, HFL girls and Brighton girls. A lot of teams that chose not to go. And
understandably so. I mean, with everything that's going on, it's
plus winter seasons have started, right? So
and it takes a toll on the body.
But there are no nationals this year. There's no Nike nationals, regionals, all that stuff. This is it.
Yep, this is it. And also, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the state swimming girls championships at Ithaca College too. Pittsford always has a strong showing. And I would expect Section 5 to maybe have some champions coming out of there.
And just so I don't hear anything, on Monday at school, we've got 2 runners from Irondequoit running, Annalie Capuano and Candace Tytler for the girls, and obviously the teams running for HFL and Brighton. And on the boys' side, the only boys team that elected to go, Irondequoit boys. So good luck to all of them today. Those races are, I know the boys at least girls are 12:15 and boys at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
So, all right, football. You want to shift over to our guest, Coach Welch?
Yeah.
Let's bring him on.
He had a late night. I don't think we should keep him hanging any longer.
No, and we'll just bring him on right now to our specialties Skype hotline. Okay, great company. You see their web address right there, specialties1.com. If you need any logos for any gear you have, quarter zips, hats, whatever it is, they can take care of you. Coach Welch, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. What time did you get in last night to the school?
We got back to the school probably about 2 a.m.
Wow.
So I got about 2:30. Late night.
Well, we appreciate you coming on the program. And I guess let's start with this. Have anybody you played this year that you can compare to Jalen Butera? 6'2", I think about 200 pounds, a big back for Jamestown.
Yeah, I mean he's a special athlete. We have a bunch of good athletes here in Section 5 for sure. But in terms of pure talent and dominance, yeah, he's probably the best kid we saw this year.
Jeff, your team has won 3 straight sectional titles, really set its stamp in Class A and Section 5. And I know probably the 3, you get to this time of year and fans talk about winning state championships, but teams talk about having one more week together. And, right. And last night, an emotional game, you guys were right there for a good part of it. What did you say to your team, and what did this team and this important group of seniors mean to the Canandaigua football program?
You're exactly right. When you get to this point, the conversations are, hey, we want one more week to play together. Yes, winning is important and advancing in the state tournament and reaching that ultimate goal, but what it really comes down to is one more week together. And these kids specifically, I've known most of them, the seniors, since they were in kindergarten. When I started here in Canandaigua, I was a primary school physical education teacher, and I had pretty much all of these guys in kindergarten class and in gym class. So it's been a special experience to see them grow as athletes. They're obviously very, very talented and special athletes, but even more so as young men. They're leaders in the school, leaders in the community, and really they set a standard and they followed a standard that kids before them have set, but they've elevated it even more for other kids in our school to follow and emulate.
Let's go back to last night again. Because there was a crazy play. Now, you guys take it down the field. They're about to go in for a touchdown. It's a fourth down play, right,
Fourth
Steve?
and 5, yeah.
And you guys lose the snap, and then they pick it up and go all the way down the field with the fumble and score. Now, I know some people say that was a huge momentum swing, but then you guys answered the bell, right? You guys score the next 14 points and go up 14-7. So how proud are you with the resilience there? And did you see that shake your team at all, that play, or did that just kind of wake them up a little?
Well, honestly, we haven't experienced anything. I don't think we've had a mistake like that in the last few years where the tables turned that quickly. I mean, we were, it's fourth down, and I think we were on the 5 or 6 yard lines, and we were pretty confident in the play that we had called. But even if we didn't get it, we had already stalled their offense a couple times, and they would have been pinned down there, and we'd been in good field position. So that huge momentum swing, yeah, that was a shot. But man, our kids came right back, especially our quarterback. Because he kind of made a mistake there, but he came right back, and 2 drives in a row, made some great plays on his own. Got some pressure. The routes weren't there, and he made some scrambles, and so his resilience in that situation kind of led the way. But very, very proud how they responded to that tough play.
And the quarterback that coach is talking about, of course, is Brian Boldrin, 3-year starter with a career record of 28-3. I mean, that's kind of Billy Sharr territory. And for those who don't know who Billy Sharr is, he was a quarterback in the mid-'80s that went to Syracuse and it was
and this whole area followed his career.
Yeah,
all of Western New York.
A lot of times, he was referred to as the best pure passer, and at least from that era to come out of Section 5.
And one of the biggest recruited players to ever come out of Section 5, too.
So, Jeff, what kind of characteristics, when you look at Brian's career, did he bring to the program? And you kind of mentioned leadership and resilience there, but I'd like to hear a little bit more about him.
Sure. Starting from the beginning, his sophomore year, he was not the immediate starter in game 1, and then he was thrown into it in game 2, and that was the start of it. And he's one of those kids that is just always right there, never too high, never too low. Which as a coach, sometimes you want him to get somewhere else, but he's always right there. And I think the kids see that, and it is a very positive trait in a quarterback and in a leader. He's been on some very good teams. Obviously, he's been the starting quarterback for 3 sectional titles, which not many people can say they've done that. He's been on some very good teams, but his leadership has grown over the last 3 years tremendously.
See right there on the screen his 8-yard touchdown run, and then Ryan Gavette had a 39-yarder. That puts you up 14-7. And then, again, another momentum punch. They get that touchdown right before the half where Mr. Butera goes over the top, Walter Payton style. And obviously another momentum shift for you there. What was your message at halftime? Because they end up outscoring you 14-0 in the second half, but obviously the score might not be indicative of how close this game was. What did you talk to you guys at halftime about?
Well, it was the first time we've been trailing at half. These kids probably haven't trailed at the half and maybe their career, honestly, dating back to their freshman year. So, we had to rally the troops a little bit in the locker room at halftime because it was unfamiliar territory. We knew they were a very good football team. We knew the second half was going to be a challenge. Obviously, that score at the end of the half, it was a shot.
And my bad, that put them up 21-14. My mistake there.
Yeah. Last play.
Last play of the half. Yep. But I had faith in the character of the kids, and I knew they certainly would quit. We knew we were going to have to make some big plays and get some stops, and unfortunately we weren't able to do that. But in terms of, it certainly wasn't a lack of effort, and certainly wasn't a lack of fight.
And for those who don't know, Coach Welch's father, Mike Welch, was the head coach at Ithaca College for a long time. Coach Welch went to Ithaca College. Jeff, you took over this program at 27, which some people might think is young. 11 years in, you really put
I
your
thought it was
stamp on
young when I just pointed that out before. I was like, wow, he's only 38 years old right now.
And
11 years.
To Coach's credit, he still could maybe pass for 27. But your dad, the impact that he's had on you as a coach and as a man, how much of what you impart on your kids have you learned from your dad?
All of it. All of it. And it's obviously it comes from my father, but it also just comes from the tradition of college football and Bomber football. My dad will give credit to his mentor, Jim Butterfield, who a lot of guys in Section 5 played for him, was around Coach Butterfield, so they know what I'm talking about. And I just hearing from some of those guys and how proud they are to kind of see, and I take pride in this, they kind of see those traits of what they experienced in the Bomber tradition coming through the Canandaigua program right now. And that I don't think anything means more to me than to hear that. But yeah, everything that you see through Canandaigua is kind of what comes from it through college football. I've had some experience. I went to Springfield College as a GA there as well. Learned a lot from Coach DeLong in that program. I like to think that our success and what we represent is just a culmination of things that I've learned from other people.
And you've had a lot of tradition in Canandaigua to build upon too, so kind of melding those two into something unique is, I think, pretty special.
We have a lot of coaches that watch this show, and you walked into a great job. You were in the spot to get the job, but you're walking into a very tradition-rich job, and at a young age. I guess in that moment, if you go take yourself back there, how much pressure did you feel? What did you want to do right away to establish that I'm the man for this job and I'm going to keep taking this program to where it wants to go? Because that can be daunting to walk into a tradition-rich program like that. So any tips you would give to any younger coaches or any coaches of any age that are walking into a program like that about how you kind of get your feet set?
That's a great question. Let me think back 11 years.
On 6 hours of sleep, if that. Personally, I'm just talking from my personal experience. So I played for my father in college. I like to think I had a decent career. So just having that experience and the pressure of that, of always being under the microscope, I like to think that my own play took care of itself. But at the same time, that was, especially as a freshman, that was an experience so valuable in terms of not worrying about that stuff and having faith in yourself and focusing on the task at hand and just putting in the hard work. And again, it all comes back to, hey, I've been around some really, really successful people. I know the path and I've been around it and understand what it takes to be successful. So at that time, I felt I was ready. I knew it was a big job, but I was so proud to be representing that tradition, and I knew I had all the faith and the support of the guys that set that tradition, specifically Coach Foster and all the great players that he had, and they're still all so supportive, and there's a lot of connection there. And I certainly take pride in our tradition, and we have melded, as you said, the two eras, and it's been a wonderful ride so far.
And Jeff, you've got a great foundation built. Obviously, the senior class made huge contributions, but when you take a step back and you're a coach, you start probably thinking about next season rather soon. What are the next steps, and what can we look for from Canandaigua moving forward?
Yeah, believe it or not, it's the first thing you think about when you wake up, right? Went to bed. I probably didn't fall asleep till about 3:30, and honestly, I woke up at probably 5:30, and that's the first thing that crossed my mind. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's how we do it, right?
Yeah, give yourself a day or a little time.
You're a coach.
That's the way it is, man. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of new faces. There's gonna be a lot of new faces, and I hate to say that and not respect and honor the kids that are walking away this year, but because they were so talented, so special, and to this program. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of new faces, and we have some work to do.
Well, let me just end it with this quote from our buddy Bob Chavez's story in the Democratic Chronicle. He asked your kicker, who kicked you into this round with the big field goal last week, about losing last night. And
he's not a kicker. He is a tight end, linebacker, receiver who happened to kick the game-winning field goal, which he never makes in practice. He doesn't make extra points in practice. He made that. So just
wow.
So he's
great.
a pressure performer.
That's great. Here's what he said. Obviously, not what we wanted, but I wouldn't want to lose with any other team. These are my brothers. I've known these kids all my life. So if it's going to be this way, it's going to be this way. And it just speaks to the culture you created and so many high school. I mean, this is when we didn't have high school sports the last couple of years for those pockets of time because of the pandemic. It's like, and people who don't follow high school sports, who've never played them or been on a team, these kids, these are their brothers, these are like family, and they didn't have that. So it's so great to have it back, and we wish you guys were moving on to the semifinals, but we certainly know Canandaigua football is here to stay, and we appreciate you going on at 2 hours of sleep and doing our interview this morning, Coach Welch. Thank you so much for being on our program.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, guys. And I appreciate everything you guys do for high school sports. I mean, you guys you take it to that next level where, people know about it. And you guys promote the great things about high school football and high school sports all around. And so thank you. And I also want to wish the best of luck to the Section 5 teams today, and hopefully they get it done.
Absolutely. Well, happy Thanksgiving, too, to you and your family. Very classy. Well done. Canandaigua football right here. And as we head into break, wow, another great interview, Steve. We're just, anyway. On fire. We're on fire, yeah. I want to tell you about my friends from Bath Fitter. If you're looking to remake that bathroom before family arrives for the holidays, the Christmas holiday, or whatever holiday you celebrate, give them a call. You see it on your screen right there, 617-0007. They can remake your bathroom in 1 day. They give you more time if you need it, or you want to take more time, but they can do it in 1 day. That's incredible. Don't be a do-it-yourself diva. Let the pros from Bath Fitter take care of you the way they've done for so many people in the Rochester area. You see it right there on your screen, 617-0007. Tell me you heard about it right here on the Canandaigua and Ferris High School Sports Show. Take a break, and we're going to talk about some of those award winners on the other side. You're watching us live right here on Rock Sports Now.
Looking for a used truck? Can you find one out of 350? At BobJohnsonAutoGroup.com, you'll find one. Love SUVs? 800 are waiting for you to take one home at BobJohnsonAutoGroup.com. Add 350 pre-owned sedans, and you've got a total of 1,500 used vehicles only at BobJohnsonAutoGroup.com.
Bob Johnson's got your ride. Bob Johnson.
While we celebrate 140 years of serving our community, the kind of delicious joy that lasts a lifetime, we look forward to serving you for 140 more. With hardworking, wholehearted, passionate people who will help shape new memories for generations to come.
When it comes to can change quickly.
The only way to make sure your rights are protected is to have a trusted, committed attorney on your side.
An attorney who has devoted their career to helping injured workers.
Someone to fight for the money and medical benefits you deserve.
The only person on your side
is the attorney at your side.
Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys.
The best three things here at McQuaid are definitely the sports, the brotherhood, and the service to community. I think that's a really big, important thing that McQuaid stresses, which is part of creating a better and great man. You definitely feel a connection with your fellow students here. It's being all-guy school. You're able to relate to each other on a personal level, and everyone's very welcoming here with open arms and willing to be your friend.
McDonald's operators care about our local schools, teams, and student athletes. That's why they support the return of high school athletics in the Rochester area and around the state. See you before or after the big game at McDonald's. Welcome back, Section 5. Game on!
In these challenging times, our dedicated team at American Custom continues to provide top-quality installations to every customer. With guidelines and restrictions changing daily, we apply attention to every detail. You can trust our team to make sure the job is done right.
Welcome back to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show on Rock Sports Now. Jeff DeVeronica and Steve Bradley. It's our second segment, which has always been our U.S. Army segment. I'm very happy to announce that the United States Army is once again going to be a sponsor of our second segment in our program. So welcome back, Army. There are a lot of great recruiters in the Rochester area, and in the coming weeks we're going to give you their phone numbers and how to reach them so you can find out about how the Army could be part of your future, possibly. It can help pay for your college education, and there's 150 different careers in the Army. You want to be a communications guy or gal? You can do it in the U.S. Army, Steve. And I think they have like you can work for them for 15 years. Pension. Boom.
Boom. Yeah. I mean, great opportunity for a lot of people.
So we hand out our awards this segment, and let's start with our Bob Johnson Auto Athletes of the Week. Steve, why don't you lead off?
Let's go with the boys, and we mentioned this game a little bit at the top, but it's sophomore quarterback Bodie Hyde of the Oakfield, Alabama Aggies. Oakfield, Alabama Aggies.
Let's try that again.
Yes, let's do it. Yeah. Somewhat live here. His sophomore quarterback threw for 184 yards and 3 touchdowns. Also rushed for 107 yards as the Aggies advanced to the state semifinals with a 28-23 win over Randolph on Friday night in Jamestown. Oakfield, Alabama, Elba will play in the state semifinals, Class D, Jeff, at 3 p.m. Friday at Cicero North, Syracuse.
Congrats to Bodie. And on the girls' side, we're going to go with, I was looking around trying to find an athlete of the week, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's right in front of your eyes, Jeff. I work at Western Irondequoit Schools. I'm a communications guy there, yeah. And I've been blessed the last 2 years to be able to cover the career of Candace Teitler, who will go down as probably the best runner in school history. Candace is a senior. Her dad is the coach of the boys team. And last week she finished 19th at the state championships. That's the fastest time among all Section 5 runners at states over at Shenango Valley State Park. And the week before that, she was the fastest girl at sectionals in winning her 3rd consecutive Class A championship. That's pretty rare, too, to win 3 in a row. And she did not have the easiest of senior seasons. She wasn't at her best all year long, but boy, did she rise up here in the postseason and really run her best times. She's running the federations today over in Wapajas Falls. So congrats to not only just a great couple of weeks for Candace Teitler, but a great career. And she was named Section 5 Runner of the Year. And because I have inside connections, and we used to work there for a long time, I can also
she's
tell
won
you
it twice before.
Right. She's also going to be the Democrat and Chronicle All-Good Rochester Runner of the Year for the 3rd straight year, which, again, pretty darn rare, I think, Steve.
Yeah, it's rare for sure. And especially in a sport as physically and mentally challenging as cross country, because people think it's just about getting up to the line and running. There's a lot more to it than that.
It's just like I always say with swimming. You have to put in the time. If you don't put in the time, you can't go do that sport. You just can't.
Right.
So congrats to both of our winners, Bodie Hyde from Oakfield, Alabama, Elba. It just doesn't roll off the tongue because you love saying the Keith. A lot of the young kids have no idea what we're talking about. There was a famous announcer named Keith Jackson, and he used to always love saying for Alabama football.
Here come the Crimson Tide of Alabama.
There you go. Steve does it so well. All right, let's go on to our G&G Fitness Coach of the Week, and he's the guy who's been on our program this season twice. Isaiah Young from UPrep Football, and obviously they lost to Canandaigua last week, 16-14, but this is really one of those. I mean, they won. He led to their first Section 5 title in school history. They won, I think, 8 straight games. They won 9. Finished 9-2.
Overcame an injury to the team's best player in week 2, and was in a tie game in the Section 5 Class A2 final or A1 final with Brighton, 8-8 at halftime. Made an adjustment where his team went to the Wildcat offense and outscored the Bruins 32-0 in the second half. They talk about adjustments all the time. And Coach Young, I think his name's pretty fitting. He's somewhat young and a new coach, and he showed a lot of chops, a lot of moxie, and a lot of guts. And when he did that, it immediately jumped off the page at me, and I said, he's got to be coach of the week sometime. And I know.
And truth be told, we had kind of already set up. I was out of town. We had already kind of set up Brighton coach
Steve Leanne, who's also done great things.
Great for their program. Right. He was our coach of the week, and then poor Steve had to announce Steve Leanne was the coach of the week when Isaiah Young just beat him the night before. So,
but Coach Young also was named the Section 5 Coach of the Year in his class too. So
he's
kudos to him. And I think the other thing we've seen with him is very active on social media, promoting his student athletes, getting them looks for college. So we talk about this all the time. It's not a win or losses award. It's what you do for kids and what you do for the community. Coach Young is doing that right out of the chute. He's
a teacher at UPrep. He's a dad who's getting married, and I consider him just a great role model for young guys all over Section 5. So I really, like I said, we said last week.
And Hot Rod got his first D1 offer this week. So
he did.
Yeah. So Sherrod Watkins, who's also been a stalwart at UPrep, really excited to see where he lands.
And while we're at it, let's say congrats to Ryan Garwood from North Star Christian. We saw that he announced he's going to be going to Roberts Wesleyan College, Division II, to play basketball, and they're one of our sponsors. So
only Division II athletics in Rochester, so a good fit for him.
All the way around. So congrats to Coach Young and everyone else we just mentioned. And we'll take another break and get ready for some great interviews with HFL cross country and Pavilion girls volleyball. Anything else?
Biomedical sciences major. My goal is to one day open up my own pediatric office. I want to create an environment almost similar to the environment that Roberts creates for me. I want them to walk into the doctor's office and feel love. When I got here, I was just like, yeah, this is home. This is where I need to be. Be prepared for an adventure, be prepared for a journey, and enjoy the journey.
Started on the spot cleaners in 2001. I saw that my kids were crawling on the carpets and I thought, what is in these carpets? Later that year in the fall, I started to notice my daughter's allergies peak. After some allergy testing, we realized there'd be a benefit to having our ducts cleaned. As a business owner, we took the certification necessary, performed the service in our home, and immediately saw results and thought this is going to be fantastic for our business and our customers. The duct cleaning process uses a HEPA filtration vacuum that will draw air through the ductwork. We have truck-mounted air compressors that blow whips and rods through the ductwork to move and dislodge the debris. We apply an antimicrobial treatment for odor and bacteria when we're completed. We protect your furnace with zone bags so that way no debris will fall over the furnace heat exchangers. The benefits of air duct cleaning is pretty simple. Your indoor air quality traps a lot of dust and allergens. Once we're done with the cleaning, you have a cleaner, fresher home.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
The College Dollar is a local company that gives parents the information they need to help their children make good decisions about their college choice. With more than 10 years of experience, the College Dollar has been helping families understand the complexities of paying for college without overwhelming debt and what to do when it's time to pay back college loans. With college debt reaching $1.85 trillion, everyone needs help. Visit thecollegedollar.com and connect for a free 15-minute conversation about saving you college dollars. And consider attending one of their upcoming seminars to hear the inside scoop on scholarships, grants, and loans.
In these challenging times, our dedicated team at American Custom continues to provide top quality installations to every customer. With guidelines and restrictions changing daily, we apply attention to every detail. You can trust our team to make sure the job is done right.
Welcome back to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show on Rock Sports Now. I'm Jeff DeVeronica, Steve Bradley, and on our specialties hotline, the team that's been winning for decades, really, Steve. HFL cross country, that's Honey Falls Lima girls cross country. The first-year coach, Nolan Hoh, and Ann Brennan, the Section 5 Class B champion, will join us right now on our Skype hotline, our specialties Skype hotline. And first, let's start with Coach Hoh. You replaced some big shoes, some big cleats, or some big running shoes, spikes, if you will, Steve, right? And and you did it. You guys won a Section 5 Class B championship, so congratulations on that. And Ann, you became the 12th runner in HFL history, the 12th HFL runner to win a Section 5 championship. Congrats to you, too. Thanks for being on our show. Nolan, what was it like? When did you think that you were going to be the guy to replace Bernie?
You know, I was in the same boat as everyone else. I was just kind of working one day over summer, and I just was scrolling through Twitter, and I just see Bernie Gardner retires, and I was like, oh my God. I was just like everyone else. I was like, man, I feel bad for the guy who's going to take his spot. And then I just went about my day. And then it was a few weeks later that Bernie and Coach Mansfield for track had reached out to me, and they just said, hey, you should throw your hat in the ring. And I was like, man, I really don't know. I don't think I can do it. And but a week or two passed, and I decided I would put my name in there and give it a shot. And then before I knew it, it was the first day, back in August, and we were getting rolling. So it just happened really fast, honestly. It's been a blur up until now.
We should mention, Steve, that people will be watching this interview on Saturday, which will be the Federation Championships in Wappingers Falls, where HFL is one of two Section 5 teams competing, HFL and Brighton. And a second-place finish in states last year. And I know as a team it was really important to you for the team to do well. You guys came in ranked 4th. What did it take for you guys to jump up and push East Aurora the way you did?
Well, I think we kind of knew, just with each other, that we were better than ranked 4th. And it was just all the work we put in. We did it for each other. We just had the mindset that we could do it and we would do it.
And what did you learn from Coach Hoh and about Coach Hoh this season?
I learned that I can be really honest with him, and he's just a really awesome coach. He's really good at listening, and he's just a great guy overall, and I feel like I can really trust him. Yeah.
And Nolan, what did you learn about Coach Hoh this season?
Geez. Well, having spent time away from the sport, I learned just how much I actually loved it. Because I ended my running career after high school, after I was done with track my senior year, and I didn't choose to run in college. So I didn't realize how much I missed it, and just how much I remembered, and it was all coming back to me just each day, wherever we'd be at practice, or we'd do a certain workout, or we'd be at a certain race, and I'm like, oh yeah, I ran here, or I did this once or twice, and just sort of relaying to these younger kids what I remember, and maybe different strategies on how to approach certain aspects of a course, or how to take care of your body differently. Just little tips and tricks. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that I even knew that, really. Didn't even know I knew it in the first place until you have to teach someone else how to do it. So I've really enjoyed the teaching aspect of coaching so far, and just trying to help these people who are not that much younger than me, really, reach their full potential as athletes and people.
Now, you're a 2016 graduate of HFL. You ran under Bernie Gardner, skied under Bernie Gardner, and now you replaced Bernie Gardner. And, I'm going to make sure Bernie watches this too. So maybe Bernie stepped aside, because I didn't realize this, Nolan and Ann, that HFL, according to, again, our guy Jim Castor, hadn't made it to states for the girls since 2015. So this was a long time coming. I guess in what ways, let me ask Ann this one. In what ways is Coach Hoh like Bernie Gardner? In which ways is he maybe not like Coach Gardner?
Oh boy.
Well, I think definitely the fact that he was coached by Bernie, they have some similarities. He definitely, they both have kind of the belief that there's always someone else. Like, there's always people that put in the effort, and like he can really recognize the kids who care, but he also wants to encourage all the other people to care as well. And they both do a really good job leading the team. I guess a difference, he's a lot younger, which is like we went from like a 50-year age gap to like a 6-year age gap.
So you guys can talk about like artists and singers, and he actually knows who they are versus like Neil Sedaka,
Bernie's
which is
cell phone might be older than some of the runners.
That's funny too, because actually I used to talk music and stuff with Bernie actually a little bit better than some of my peers. So I don't know about that one, Ann.
So, well, Nolan, what about Ann? What makes her such a good runner, and especially maybe her performance in the Section 5 Class B championship race?
Yeah, Ann races with like the wisdom of someone beyond her age. Honestly, I mean, it's kind of cool to watch. She's one of those people who doesn't actually need a lot of coaching. She kind of knows what she has to do, and she's been a really good leader to the rest of the girls and the whole team really all season. Just kind of like setting the example and like showing what it takes to be a champion. So I've learned a lot from Ann about the sport, mental toughness and grit, which she has, all of those things. And probably one of my favorite things about Ann is just watching her race, because she does it with such a strategically, and it's just calculated, and it's not just, she's not one of those people who just like goes out there and improvises and just does some run. You know, it's this calculated, strategic performance that it's kind of like watching like a really great like classical pianist or like a really great carpenter like do their craft. She's just so in the pocket with it. So I've enjoyed watching that, and of course watching her progress, even just through these past like few months, just get better from August to now.
And at the top, Jeff mentioned HFL success. What is it like for you to add your name to that long list of sectional champions and have your own slice of the tradition?
It feels really cool. Because I've seen the list before, you know, it's people like Alex Stair on the list, like just some really amazing runners who I've looked up to and I've heard all these stories about, and like to kind of be on that list with them, it's like, but I put the work in. I know I deserve it.
You were runner-up last year as a junior, right? And that was to Trinity Wells, right? And she was defending champ. She didn't end up running on November 6th at Letchworth, and it was reported that she was in code protocols. When did you find out? Because you go in with a mentality like, I got to beat Trinity Wells, right? When did you find out that she wasn't going to run, and did it shake you at all or change your mentality when you found out?
Well, I remember we didn't see her at the start line, and a couple people pointed it out to me, but, you know, my focus going into sectionals is not about my own individual, like, winning the race. It's doing the best that I possibly can for this team. And so I was like, okay, it doesn't really make a difference either way, so I'm just going to go out there and race it like I was going to race it before. And I found out why she wasn't racing after the race, and I felt really badly for her, but that was my thoughts going into the race.
Well, your team ran a great race. You won the championship, and now you're going to be at Federations when people watch this. You were 13th at States, a great finish for you individually, and the team runner-up the 5th time. This is 19 times to States, Steve, for HFL. Amazing. 5 times runner-up, that's a record. 7 times champion, that's a state record. We thought
7, as Coach Hoh pointed out, too, 7 times in a row.
In a row. It's really incredible. And let's mention the team that's going to Federations here. Ann Brennan, obviously. Paige Kidd, a sophomore. Aaliyah Spaker, a junior. Tegan Cam, a senior. Olivia Kranek, a junior. Ginny Roth, a senior. And then some other girl named Brennan, Kate Brennan. which it's your sister, who's just a freshman, and you were up as a freshman too. How much growth have you seen? How cool is it to have your sister be up as a freshman, and what kind of growth have you seen out of her, Ann?
It's cool to have her on the team, especially for my last year here. I've seen a lot of growth in her. She also races like very smart, especially for a freshman. Like, she's very strategic. She starts out pretty conservative and like just passes a ton of people during the race. And she has really moved her way up in the team this year, and she is a really great part of the team.
So, Coach Hoh, your team will be on the course before this airs, and cross country is probably close to as much mental as it is physical. What's the game plan for your group going into today?
Yeah, well, federations will likely be, like the biggest competition any of these athletes compete in at the high school level, and it's huge. It's
you ran in it, right? You ran in federations, yeah.
Our team made it in 2015 when I was a senior. So, and I've ran at Bowdoin Park a few times before. So it's I'm going to try to use what I remember from that to sort of pass that on to them. But is that these big races, you can't let the craze and just like the hype around it and the amount of people there and all that distract you from the task at hand. So you'll hear like a lot of like pro sports team talk about the process, and like before the Super Bowl, you'll hear Brady talk about, oh, it's just any other game, it's just another football game, and that's what it is. It's another 5K. We just have to run 5,000 meters, and we're going to do it just like we've always done it. We're going to prepare essentially the same, and just try not to let the whole craze of the total event distract us from what we're trying to do.
He's pretty cerebral himself.
Not bad.
Jim Castor, our former colleague with the Democratic Chronicle, described you that you are steeped in smart techniques while turning negatives into positives. And from knowing Ann a little bit, I think I know her a little bit because I actually, full transparency, I work with her dad, James Brennan, who's also a very smart guy. Right. Thinks really smart, thinks his way through things. And do you think he gets that from some of your dad? And I know he's an ultra marathoner. Did he have any influence on you into going into running?
Yeah, both my parents did, actually. They're both runners, and I mean, obviously they didn't force me. I do actually like running, but they definitely encouraged it, and I was really excited to start cross country in middle school.
Well, it's a great senior season no matter what happens at Wappingers Falls today. It's the end of the season because there aren't any nationals this year. And good to see you face-to-face. Good to meet you, and congrats on a great senior season.
Thank you.
Coach Hoh, one championship down, 107 more to match Bernie.
I know.
They just hired you this young so you could have a career that might get to the Bernie Gardner level.
Yeah, I know. That was sort of my thinking too. We'll just have to see. And I'll check back in like 40 years and let you know how it's going.
Yeah, we'll probably get you on sometime between now and then. So
perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks, HFL. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a quick break, Steve. That was fun. You're watching the Cos and Ferris High School Sports Show on Rock Sports now.
Whether you come here as a sixth grader or a ninth grader, you have to spend your 4, 5, 6 years here and just get involved in so many different things. And then you're going to go out and set fire on the earth. When you get through McQuaid Jesuit, you're not going to fail when you get out in the world.
Tell you about my friends at Bath Fitter. 30 years across the country they've been doing this stuff. 20 plus years in Rochester. You don't have that kind of longevity without treating your customers right, doing great quality work. Please check them out online, bathfitter.com. Call the local office at 617-0007. It's Bath Fitter Rochester. Don't be a DIY diva and try to do it yourself. Don't screw it up. Let the pros do it. Remodel with confidence. Remodel with Bath Fitter. And please tell them you heard about it right here from Jeff DeVeronica. on the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. We're brought to you by Salvador's Pizza.
There are plenty of professional sports teams in Rochester, but there's also a lot of great high school sports action in each town in our area. When's the last time you checked out a high school game? Section 5 sports are about more than just wins and losses. They're about teaching teamwork, dedication, and discipline. So support the kids who play for your school. Get out and watch a high school game today. For more information, including schedules, rosters, and stats, visit section5.org. That's sectionv.org. Brought to you by the Monroe County League and Section 5.
In doing the work you do, if you're hurt, we'll help you through.
Don't be fooled. Video hearings are as critical as appearing in person.
Make sure your rights are protected.
Your employer has trained specialists on their side.
And the judges work for New York State.
The only person on your side
is the attorney at your side.
Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys.
Get in the game at Rochester Regional Health Total Sports Experience. TSC micro programs are a jumpstart to an active lifestyle. Programs start at age 2, where kids learn the fundamentals of team sports in a fun and friendly environment. Celebrate a birthday or special occasion with the whole team. Our event staff can coordinate a super fun day, from gameplay to party room. Book it today. Adult leagues and tournaments are offered in soccer, lacrosse, and more. 2 Rochester locations. Visit totalsports-experience.com.
Local McDonald's operators care about our local schools, teams, and student athletes. That's why they support the return of high school athletics in the Rochester area and around the state. See you before or after the big game at McDonald's. Welcome back, Section 5. Game on!
Welcome back to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. Jeff, joining us now on the Specialties Hotline. I think it's one of the best stories in Section 5. The Pavilion Golden Gophers girls volleyball team. They're not only the 25-0 Section 5 Class D champs, headed to Glens Falls to play in pool play this afternoon. They haven't lost a set all season. They're a perfect 75-0. It's Coach Rex Eimey in the middle. On the left, we have Shannon Campbell, the setter, and on the right, it's Adeline Milligan. So, welcome, Gophers. How are you today?
We're good.
So 72-0. 75. 72, close enough, really. Were any of those close? Were there any, real nail-biters, Coach?
Yeah. We've had 2 games that have gone, or 2 sets that have gotten really close.
So 2 out of 75.
So close that we were down and then came back and won.
Do you remember the teams that did that?
There's actually been 3 teams.
Warsaw had us down 24-23. And we scored the last 2 points, or last 3 points go 26-24. The 2 sets we just had against Lake Chautauqua. The first one we ended up winning, 25-23?
Yeah.
And the last one was tied at 24, and we closed out 26-24.
And then there was also Leroy was 23-25.
Yeah.
Rex, your 19th season as coach, back-to-back champs with this group. They won Class D2 in the spring. What's the community like, and what makes these girls so special?
Well, the community is really excited. As you can see at our matches when we get to the sectionals, the whole town is there to watch us. But the specialty of the team is that they've been playing together. The main core, I call them the 4. They've been together for 4 years. The whole team, though, are really good friends on and off the court, and they play a lot together. They play other sports, and they're just very competitive. But their chemistry is out of this world, and they just have a great time playing together.
Annie Milligan, your fans have a tradition, too. When you get to match point, there's a standing ovation. Everybody kind of rises as one. As a player, are you zoned in? Do you notice that, and does that inspire you, or are you hyper-focused? And how cool is that tradition?
Usually I'm hyper-focused on the game, just because I usually get nervous at end of games. But seeing pictures after the game of the team standing behind us, and it just makes me so happy because even though I may not notice it in the moment, I know that everyone is there for us.
You guys beat HAC Harley-Allendale Columbia, the top seed for the championship. MVP of sectionals was Miss Milligan. Congratulations on that.
Yep.
Shannon, obviously a setter. Yeah, I think you had 36 assists in the final. Have you always been a setter? And I guess what's it take, in your opinion, to be a good setter?
I have always usually been I've been the setter since probably 6th grade, and I've been playing since 3rd grade, and I've also set during those years as well. And I think just asking your teammates how they like their set, how, if you could improve, that's what makes at least me a good setter, because if I know what my teammates want, I can help them.
Rex, how about you? I mean, because the setter is a lot of times the quarterback. And what makes these two young ladies such good players?
Well, she reads the play early, and she moves very quickly to get to the ball. And as she said, they know how to run their plays, and then she sets it where hopefully the hitters want it at. And if it's not, they talk about it and they fix it. And she's just determined to go get the ball. So she does a very good job.
Pavilion made it to the state finals, Jeff, in 1998. So it's been 23 years, back-to-back championships. Addie, I know that volleyball's been really big in your family for a long time. How did you catch the volleyball bug, and what do you love about the sport?
Well, I have been playing for as long as I can remember. So just it being so common in my family, it has definitely sparked my interest, and it's the reason who I am today. And I just love it. Everything about the sport is just amazing. And I hope to be able to play the rest of my life like everyone else in my family.
Carly Zinkovich had 24 service points in the final. And, Coach, who are some other key, obviously it's not 3 against 6, who are some other key players for this squad that have come up big in the postseason and beyond?
First of all, on Carly's serving, the one thing, she serves tough, but at that particular time in the front row, Shannon's already there. We have Lauren in the middle and Adeline on the outside. Right there, but Lauren and Shay have really stepped up in the middle, front row, and that's been huge. And Carly's been hitting from the outside, and then we get the good passing from Paige and Sam and Sarah, and Abby Lemley is our backup setter when Shannon's got to dig the ball, and she gets to the ball and sets it for our hitters, and that's what they do. It's quite the thing to watch, actually.
Shannon, last week, Coach was our G&G Fitness Equipment Coach of the Week, and I know, and he was there long before even I graduated. And just what does he bring with his?
He has a lot of experience, so he likes this community, and everyone I think comes for Rex. Not necessarily just him, but everyone likes him. Everyone knows him, so. He's a really important part of our team.
Junior in high school.
A junior in high school, okay. Because a junior high, we have to call the authorities. But what were you doing as a junior? What kind of jobs were you doing?
You really want to know that one? I started out by cleaning buses. So
all right.
In the summertime, I learned how to scrub floors and wax floors and wash everything up. So that's how I got started. That was my job.
Hey, Coach, in this day and age when no one wants to work, I applaud that initiative. I wish more people would do that, right? Especially for schools.
It's hard to find
yeah, you're director of facilities still, right?
Yeah. He's the one to make sure the parking lot's plowed, the heat's on, everything.
You're like the mayor of Pavilion, right?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, is there a mayor?
There you go. Yep, there you go.
And I got to tell you.
I want to say something about the coaching, though, as you mentioned me coaching and stuff, but for the last couple of years, though, we've had an assistant coach named Rebecca Zinkovich, and she's huge part of this team. And she's taken a lot of load off me, and she's a very good inspiration for the team.
Rex, just given your historical perspective, and the people say you're from Pavilion don't really know. I know you're from Roanoke, but nobody knows where Roanoke is. But
I don't know where it is.
No,
Virginia?
You won't find it.
Roanoke, Virginia?
It's about 3 miles south of the Red Osier. But
That's right.
But if things come to fruition this weekend and this team's able to bring a state title home, what would that mean to the whole community?
I think it's going to be unbelievable. A lot of people are going to go down and watch this play, and the community is really gathered around this team, and it'll be huge. I mean, it's about the community together, and we just can't wait to find out what happens and see how the community reacts.
Now, you two are both seniors. Addie, do you want to play in college?
I do. I hope that I can.
Okay, how about you, Shannon? She will.
Yeah, I hope so. Hopefully, I gotta get some recruiters out here.
You know what, Pavilion? Guess where the recruiters go? They go to the state championships. So very important weekend on many fronts, right, Steve?
Absolutely, absolutely.
They certainly get the best set design. You guys didn't have to get balloons all blown up for our show like this. Just kidding.
Purple and gold looks good on everybody. Just remember that.
I don't know my Pavilion history. Steve knows it because he's got a diploma from the school. Has a Pavilion team ever won a state championship?
No. This would be historic, and my guess would be there would be fire trucks at the Thruway in Leroy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that 98 team, I was there to watch that, and if my memory serves me correctly, but you never know, they lost in 5 sets, but they're in the championship game.
So, girls, let me ask you real quick: how does it feel? We're a couple of days before the match, but do you guys feel pressure? Is it like, you know what, we made it this far, let's win the whole thing? Are you guys loosey-goosey, or are you nervous? Shannon?
I'm personally not nervous right now, but definitely when we're in the moment, nerves.
Well, you're human. You're human.
Yeah.
But do you feel pressure for the whole school?
They're ready to go.
Yeah.
They're ready to go.
I'm nervous, but I think we have the skills. So I think we just got to play our game.
So just to review the format, on Saturday there's pool play, so they'll play the other 3 teams twice. Top 2 advance to Sunday's 2 p.m. championship game. And I guess maybe just for anybody that feels like answering, I mean, the 75-0 is great, but you know that if you lose a game, it's okay, and you'll be able to regroup, and everything will still be in front of you, right? The mentality of this team is it to have a perfect season, or is it just to bring home the big trophy on Sunday?
I think in the end, it's just to bring the trophy back home. I mean, we told each other before all the games during sectionals, like, we lost a set, like, don't worry, it's okay, and you don't have to worry about it. But it would be great if we had a perfect season or anything like that, but I don't think that we're super worried about that right now.
Yeah, honestly, it's like if it happens and you lose a set, all right, let's just get out of the way. It was bound to happen at some point, right? The law of averages. But you know, it sounds like you got a great mindset going in. We obviously wish you the best of luck, even if this guy wasn't a Golden Gopher himself. But real excited for it. This would be really cool. Really cool.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us, and good luck, and bring it home.
All right, we'll be watching and following another great show. Steve Bradley, our producer Joe. Thank you, Pavilion. Good luck to you, and thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back again next. Actually, we're still deciding if we're gonna have a Thanksgiving show. We'll make a game time decision on that.
But everybody have a great holiday, and
absolutely,
be safe with family and friends.
Enjoy it, reflect, and it's been a topsy-turvy last 24 months or so, but 20 months. But good things ahead. So for Joe Brown, our producer, and Steve Bradley, my name's Jeff DeVeronica. Have a great holiday and a great weekend. Thanks for watching us right here on Rock Sports Now, the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show.